Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thanks for coming back for another episode of our SimpMe weekly YouTube series. So, before I get going, I want to make sure that everybody knows that you should subscribe to the SimpMe YouTube channel. We have so much content in store. We're working on a lot of great initiatives. And honestly, I think you guys are going to get a lot out of all the things we're working on. So, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can stay updated on all of our new content. Today, I want to talk about an anecdote as it pertains to investing that's very important for me. And some people may have heard me tell this story before on Instagram posts or maybe on blogs. But I want to talk about my journey as an investor, and particularly my first investment, and kind of how that first investment was the catalyst for me being very passionate about investing, spreading financial literacy, and beyond. So, for those that may not be aware, I was fortunate enough to study finance when I was a student at Villanova University. And during my time at Villanova, I had the opportunity to work within financial services as an intern. Not only did I get to intern within financial services, but I was able to do it for 2 summers, which was awesome. That allowed me to really broaden my horizons. It allowed me to learn a lot about the intricacies of the financial markets. And it also allowed me to network and meet individuals that I would have never had access to had I not been in that environment, right? So for me, working within financial services particularly allowed me to learn about the markets. It allowed me to double down on what I was learning about in school at Villanova in a very practical way because I was doing a job specifically at this company, right? So particularly like for me, when I was doing my internship, I had a lot of individuals that were, from all over different universities from the Boston area, but also other areas, other states. It all just depended on where they were recruiting and kind of where they went to college. But the unique aspect of it was that I was working closely with some individuals that I actually happened to know personally from middle school and high school that actually had internships at the same firm that I was interning at as well. And during that time, I remember I was talking to one of my good friends, and we're good friends to this day. His name is Joe. Shout out to my man, Joe. And Joe was very well in tune with investing. He had been investing for some years prior to our internship, saving up money that he earned during summer jobs and just building up a portfolio. And I remember him specifically telling me how he worked at a fish market during his summer job when he was in high school, and he was able to make money and he ended up investing it. And he started with a little bit of money and he was able to accumulate and grow money through his investments by kind of just following a specific investment plan, and that worked for him. He was very passionate, and to this day he's very passionate about the financial markets. So this is something that he's always been into. And I remember working with him at the internship and also sitting close to him in terms of where I used to sit and where he sat. And we used to talk about the markets every single day. And he would say, Jordan, check out this stock or check out this investment and, read this article on the Wall Street Journal. And it's funny because he's a little bit younger than me, but he just knew a lot more about investing than I did at the time. And for me, it wasn't an ego thing. Like, I am always the type of individual that wants to learn from individuals that know more than me, right? Because I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I really want to push myself to have access to individuals that can allow me to do better and to be better. So from that regard, it was just great to learn from somebody that was a peer of mine that was passionate about financial literacy and passionate about investing. So to kind of take a step back, what really ended up happening was my buddy Joe was like, "Hey Jordan, do you have a brokerage account?" And at the time I didn't have a brokerage account. I didn't know anything about how to set up a brokerage account. I didn't know what was a good brokerage account to use. But he was like, "Hey, I use this brokerage account. I can send you a referral code. And with this referral code, we can both get some free trades and you'll have your first investment account." And I was like, "You know what? Let's do it, bro. Like, let's set up the investment accounts. Let's do it right now." And mind you, we were interns. We weren't making that much money, right? Like, we may have been making like, I don't know, $18 an hour, whatever it was. But that was good money. And we were extremely happy because we were getting exposure and we were getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. And I remember doing some research on my own about some stocks. I remember talking to him about some of the stocks that I was looking into purchasing. And the first stock that I purchased was Cooper Tire. And I did a lot of research on this company. It seemed like a pretty boring industry with tires. And I'm like, okay, well, everybody needs tires for their car and trucks need tires. So this company seems like a leader within the tire space in the industry. Why not purchase it, right? It seemed like a really good industry to invest in, particularly for someone who's like new to investing for me, right? I thought about what I see people use all the time. And I was like, hey, this is a good investment. And I invested in Cooper Tire, and I think I invested a couple $100 at the time. And years and years later, it just kept growing. It kept, that investment was really doing well for me. And funny enough, the company Cooper Tire ended up getting acquired by Goodyear because it was a great company. And that situation for me really opened my eyes to the power of investing, right? It opened up my eyes to the idea that you could really own something. You could work hard for your paycheck and you could take a portion of that money and invest in something that can increase in value. And that was a great practical experience for me because I was learning about a lot of these concepts in my finance classes at Villanova, where I studied undergrad. And then coupling that with my experiences working within financial services and reading more about the markets, I was able to take a little bit of my money and invest in the market and get skin in the game. And to me, that was a very powerful situation because it allowed me to kind of really like see how the world operated, specifically within the financial markets. That situation was very powerful for me, like in terms of me connecting with my friend Joe, because he also opened my eyes to investing in the opportunities that existed, the investment vehicles that were available. And this was the catalyst for me to really figure out, okay, hey, like, I kind of like this. Like, I like being able to make my money work for me. I like being able to study and identify opportunities in the market to invest my money into, hopefully invest for long-term growth and capital appreciation. And that was just a very powerful moment, right? Because I was learning from someone who I consider to be a great friend. To this day, me and Joe are really close friends, and we talk all the time about markets. And we talk a lot about things that we're working towards and other investments and things we want to do. But it was just great to have somebody that was willing to teach me and open my eyes to the markets and what exists. And now, here I am years later. I mean, that was probably 2013, and 11 years later, and I'm still investing and following those same principles. And taking that knowledge and now sharing it with individuals through SimpMe platform and building a lot of resources and products and software and stuff that I'm developing with my team to be able to spread financial literacy. So I say all that to say, right? Like, there's a couple lessons here to take away. Understanding that there's always something to learn from people around you. Learn from your peers. Know where your blind spots are in your knowledge base, and then not be afraid to attack it and learn from someone that may be a little bit more advanced and knowledgeable on that specific area than you. Number two, just being not afraid to take a risk and just to put some skin in the game and to invest in things that you're passionate about, or invest in things and trends that you see in the market. That has been a really good piece of advice for me in terms of building up my portfolio and always trying to figure out and identify opportunities for long-term wealth accumulation. And then lastly, just constantly learning, right? Like being a student of the game, always being diligent, doing your own research and reading. That stuff will take you far. So yeah, I mean, my story of owning Cooper Tire and now doing what I'm doing with my portfolio and being able to share these anecdotes and share financial literacy with the SimpMe community is very, very important to me. So I hope you enjoyed this anecdote in this video, and definitely be sure to stay tuned for more content from us. We're working on a lot behind the scenes, and also make sure you like, share, and comment, and subscribe to the channel, like I said, so you can stay updated on all of our new SimpMe material. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Peace.